Hi there, and welcome to the next edition of our Tax Planning Starts Now series. Today, with the assistance of Helen, I'm going to talk about debt optimisation.
But Alan, what is debt optimisation?
Well, debt optimisation is, we all have debt, and the whole idea of debt optimisation is to make sure that the debt is working for us in the most efficient way. So from that point of view, it's not really a pure tax planning idea. It can happen any time of the year, and probably should happen any time of the year. So we often see people who are in a spot of financial bother and their debts are all out of control. And so by sitting down and analysing the debts and looking at how they can be restructured, quite often we can get them out of that situation and improve their overall tax position. So roughly, this is how it might work. Okay, so let's assume that someone's got a house that's worth, for one of a number, 400,000.
Okay.
So that's the market value of their house, and their debt on that house, let's say, is.
Okay.
Got to keep the numbers easy. 100. Okay, so that's their home loan. So equity in the house is 300,000. That's their equity. Now let's also assume that we've got a credit card.
Okay.
Right, and we've been a bit naughty with this credit card, and we owe $10,000 on the credit card.
Gone to Japan, come back?
Yeah, something like that. Or just, yes, silly stuff. But anyway, so we've got a credit card with $10,000. Now, we all know that on a credit card you'll be paying something like 19% interest.
Mm-hmm.
On our home loan, let's say we're paying
5%.
Bit precise. Let's make it 6%. All right?
Yeah.
6%. So we're paying 6% interest on that, we're paying 19% on that. We could also have a car loan. Right, let's say the car loan is another $15,000.
Mm-hmm.
And typically on a car loan, we could be paying 12%. Okay. So we've got all these different debts hanging around and paying different amounts of interest. So purely by looking at it and saying, well, okay, here we're paying 19%, what can we do about that? None of these loans are in fact tax deductible. So all of that is, coming out of your pocket with no help from the taxman. So the first thing we look at doing is saying, well, okay, over here we've got $25,000 worth of debt, paying a lot more than 6%. So let's take out a $25,000 loan, additional loan, okay, which is still going to be at 6%.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And use that to pay out these.
Okay.
So immediately we've improved the overall cash position because we're not paying these high rates of interest. We're only paying 6%. Now, the thing that is important with all of this is budgeting. Now, I know everyone hates the word budgets because I have seen situations where we've done this and somebody's kept a credit card and immediately it's gone back up to 10,000 and they're no better off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've got to have discipline to actually want to improve your overall financial position, and the budget is a key aspect of that. So now we've got a situation where we've got a house worth $400,000, total debts of $125,000. So now our equity is $275,000. Is our equity, our new equity. Okay. It would be possible now for us to go along, and now I'll need my trusty calculator. It'd be possible for us to actually go along to the bank and say, okay, we've now got equity of $275,000. bank will normally normally lend you up to 80% of the market value. So that would mean the total debt could be 320,000. Our debt at the moment is 125. So we could borrow another $195,000, okay, to use for investment purposes, if we wanted to. Okay? And this is where it starts to become a tax situation, because now the interest rate on that, depending on what you're doing, let's say the interest rate is 8% because the bank decides that you're getting a bit riskier. So now you're paying 8% on that 195. That's assuming you borrow up to the 195. But you could then go and use that as a deposit on a rental property. Use it to go and buy shares. And as long as the purpose of the loan was to earn income, as it would be in those situations, that interest rate is a tax deduction. Okay? So after tax, right, that would equal around about 6%. Okay, or possibly even less, probably 5%.
Okay.
So now we've got a situation where we're paying 6% on this loan up here, okay, and 5% on this one. This is after tax. So you would be directing your resources to getting rid of these loans here, okay, reducing that because that's really costing you 6% out of your pocket. This one's really only costing me 5%. So that's how we optimise our debt to minimise the interest that we're actually paying, right? And overall, our wealth position is improving because now we've got $195,000 worth of investment that is working for us, getting a tax deduction for this 8% interest that we're paying, and after tax it's only costing us 5%. So overall, our total wealth position is improving in a tax-effective way. And that's really what we're talking about. So we've got rid of this rubbish debt over here.
Okay.
Through the use of a budget, we've stopped that happening again. And overall, we've now got a significant amount of assets working for us. So that's what debt optimisation is really all about. Just tweaking it all so that it just works the best way for you, give you the opportunity to make some sensible investments to improve your overall financial position. Pretty simple. And as I say, it doesn't really need to happen leading up to the 30th of June. It can happen any time of the year, whenever somebody wakes up and suddenly realises that perhaps things aren't working the best for them. So we're happy to talk to anyone at any time of the year about how we can straighten all this sort of stuff out. So thanks very much. If this applies to you, come along and have a talk to us. Thanks very much.